set notation. Alright, on the second page, compound inequalities with, or, and. It's two equations basically in one. That's all compound inequalities is two equations in one. So take the paper, you're going to rip it in half, right, just like I'm doing, so that they're making like little tabs. Right, then you're going to draw like a little line halfway. I think go ahead and make this little part in the middle, just like I'm doing. On the second one, you actually don't need that much space, so just make it smaller, or thinner rather, all the way down. Alright, copy that down. Solve just like linear inequalities, only they are 2 in 1. Sorry, I totally misspelled that. Solve like linear inequalities, only they are 2 in 1. So copy that down. We're going to get rid of the 9. So multiplying both sides by 9. 9 times 1 divided by 3 is negative 3. 1 times 9 divided by 3 is 3. So go ahead and bring it down. So we're going to get negative 3 is less or equal to 5x minus 1. And on the other side, 3. Now what do? Well, I'm going to go ahead and color my variables real quick. So I'm going to color my variable orange, my numbers yellow. So remember, it's just 2 in 1 equations. So I'm going to add 1, add 1. Okay. Go ahead and get 5x. And then there's negative 1 plus 3. Tigers with Trojans. Tigers win by negative 2. Oh, pardon my dog. Negative 2. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. Now what? Well, I'm going to get rid of that 5. So what do I need to do? I'm going to divide both sides by 5. Did I divide by negative? No. So the inequality direction is going to stay the same. So I'm going to have negative 2 over 5 less than or equal to x less than 4 over 5. And that's okay that you end up with a fraction. Okay. The listening check. This is a listening check. Circle negative 2 over 5. Circle negative 2 over 5 alone. Alright, so x is in between these two numbers. That's what that means. X is in between these two numbers. So you're going to write as two separate equations, or inequalities really, so that you can see the graph. So write as two separate inequalities with the variable on the left. Remember, the variable must always be on the left. Write as two separate inequalities with the variable on the left. So with this one, I'm going to block the right hand side. Do you see? Because I'm going to change the order. X is greater than or equal to negative 2 over 5. And on that right hand side, x is less than 4 over 5. That's already on the left. Go ahead and draw my arrow so you can see what direction it's going. Then we're going to graph it. So we're going to graph it on one graph. Alright, so negative 2 over 5. I'm going to make it out of tens so that I can understand where it's going. That's 4 over 10, so it's about almost halfway. And it's a closed bracket because it has an equal to. 4/5, that's like 8/10, so it's going to be closer to 1. And that's going to be an open parentheses because it's not going to equal to. So two graphs in one, and I'm going to do two different colors so I don't confuse which one's which. Alright, and it says this, it's x is greater than negative 2/5 and x is less than 4/5. So both of them have to be true. So what you do is you look for the intersection. Where are they intersecting? Because of that and. You can see that it's right there with the parentheses. So I'm going to redraw the graph just with the intersection because both have to be true. Okay, so this is what my graph looks like. And I'm sorry, could you correct the one on the right hand side? It's supposed to be an open parentheses. The one on the right is supposed to be an open parenthesis with bracket and then open parenthesis. And I think I corrected a little later. Alright, so graph both, and the overlap is the final answer. So graph both and the overlap is the final graph. In set notation, bracket negative 2 over 5. So you see I figured it out, but I made a mistake there. So open parentheses. Negative 2 over 5, 4 over 5, open parentheses, because it doesn't include the equal to. And that's your set notation. This is a listening check. Color in negative 2 over 5 and 4/5. Color in this answer. Alright, on the right hand side, the top right hand side, go ahead and copy this down. 5x is less than 20 and x plus 5 is greater than 4. So again, solve like two separate equations. So my river I'm gonna color my variables orange, my numbers yellow. Take all my oranges to one side, my yellow to the other. So starting with the 5x, I divide by 5 on both sides. Did I divide by negative? No, so I keep the inequality the same. X is less than 4. And then on the right hand side, I'm going to take my yellow to the other side. So it's going to be minus 5. Cross it out. So I'm just going to be left with X. And then I have tigers meets Trojans. Tigers win by 1 is greater than negative 1. So again, I have two inequalities. I'm going to rewrite it so I can draw my arrow to see my direction. So you can see that one's going to the left, strictly to the left. That one's going strictly to the right. There's no equal below it. So they're going to be parentheses or open circles. Alright, so both must be true. Because of that and, both must be true. So x is less than 4 and x is greater than negative 1. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and graph the two separate equations with the variable on the left. So start negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with the first one, x is less than 4, so an arrow going to the left from 4, open circle because there's no equal to, or open parentheses. Take a different color. X is greater than negative 1, so starting at negative 1, open parentheses, all the way to the right. And because it says and, both have to be true. So you're going to get the intersection of where they intersect. So it's going to be from open parentheses negative 1 to close parentheses 4. And that's your graph because both have to be true. By set notation, from negative 1 to 4, both open and close parentheses because there's no equal to. This is a listening check. This is a listening check. Underline the word separate. Underline the word separate. Alright, the bottom left hand side, go ahead and copy that down. Negative 5x plus 1 is greater than 11, or 7x plus 3 is greater or equal to negative 25. What do? I'm going to subtract 1. So you're just going to solve just like a regular equation again. Bring everything down. I'm going to have negative 5x is greater than or equal to tigers meets Trojans. Trojans win by 10. Now what? Want to divide by negative 5. Wait a minute. I'm dividing by a negative number. So what do I have to do? Change the direction of the inequality. So divide both sides by negative 5. Change the direction of the inequality. So I'm going to get x is less than or equal to negative 2. On the right hand side, I'm going to subtract 3. So I bring down 7x is greater than or equal to negative 28. Then I'm going to divide by 7. Did I divide by a negative number? No. So do I change the direction? No. So I'm just going to get x is greater than or equal to negative 4. This is a listening check. Put a triangle around negative 2. Put a triangle around negative 2 alone. So rewrite it again so you can leave space for my arrows. So you can see the arrow is going to the left, and keep in mind it has the equal sign. That one's going to the right and has an equal sign as well. Alright, so then graph it. Alright, again, you're going to graph both equations on the same graph. So you need to start from negative 5-ish to negative 2, or to negative 1, or to 0. Alright, so it's closed bracket, and it's going to the left from negative 2. And the other one is a closed bracket going to the right from negative 4. Just use a different color. Alright, now, because it says or, alright, x is less than or equal to negative 2, or x is greater than or equal to negative 4. It's not just the intersection, it's everything. So you can see in this case, it's really all the numbers on the number line. So from negative infinity to infinity, because x is any number less than or equal to negative 2, x is any number greater than or equal to negative 4. So my set notation is going to be open parentheses, negative infinity to positive infinity. All right, in your notes section, you can just write graph and set notation. This is a listening check. This is a listening check. Put a box around set. Put a box around set. The word set. All right. When it says or, it's one or the other. When it says and, it's both. When it says or, it's one or the other. When it says and, it's both. So copy that down. We'll add 8 to both sides. So we're going to get g is greater than 19. And then on the right hand side, we're going to add 1. Cross that out. We're going to get G is less than or equal to 16, I'm sorry. Alright, and it's OR. So we're going to rewrite it again with space for my arrow. So you can see that your arrow is going to the right. On the left one, you can see it's going to the left. Then I'm going to draw my little number line, starting from 16 to 19. So let's start from 14. I think I start from 10. But anyway, you can start from 14 to 20. Your number line. And then you're going to do an open circle, an open parenthesis, sorry, at 19 to the right. And a closed bracket because of the equal sign from 16 to the left.
This is a listening check. Color in 16. G is less than or equal to 16.
Now, this is the red is true or the green is true. The red is true or the green is true. So you can get from negative infinity to 16 inclusive, so close bracket, or we're going to use union to say or. You can go from 19 open parentheses all the way to infinity to get the values for x. So this or that. Alright, so just to give you a little definitions, a little 0 with a cross going through just means an empty set. There's no solution there. And then like a n is an intersection.